Hello, I want to speak about the soprano. It's not my favorite size for different reasons, but I say that is, to me at least, is it's like those sweets or candies or cakes that you eat at the end of the or your meal, or the ice cream that I buy twice a week or three times a week, and they are very good. Um, Sopranos are not well understood. You cannot easily play finger picking, or you don't get the volume and the right. You don't get this tension you get on other sizes, and I strongly recommend as a neutral size the concert. But it's a maligned instrument. People don't understand it for several reasons. So I'd say it's not better than any other size. It's just not worse. Some people think, okay, it's the beginner's instrument. It doesn't have a lot of volume. It doesn't have a lot of finger space. Many times sounds like shit. Surely sounds like shit, because most of beginners ukulele or pieces of junk are sopranos. Okay, that's common knowledge. And I'd say it's not better because it was the first ukulele. No, not because of that. I'd say it's not better. I don't think it's better. I think it's subjective. What I want to say, it's not the underdog. It shouldn't be the underdog. The ukulele, keeping the same tuning, and this as a D tuning, they liked a lot. In order to keep that mellow sound, it should be tuned a little bit lower when they get bigger. And they have the same three different sizes with the same tuning. You end up having instruments that sound a little bit more like guitar, like the tenor, instrument that sounds neutral like a soprano, and like a concert. And this tune is G, C, E, A, sounds a little bit too floppy for me. I have other ukulele sopranos that are tuned in standard tuning. This is tuned higher, but has specific strings. So I'd say I'm not a fan of the soprano, but I can tell you that the sweetness of the sound of the soprano, the fast-paced way of playing, are what characterize this instrument. Okay, there are some things that only the player appreciate. For example, the fact that this is smaller, and so it's more handy. You can bring with you more easily than bigger sizes. But that has nothing to do with the person who listens to you. So I'd say the strong points of the soprano is that it has its or her, depending on the sex or genre, gender, has its extreme mellow, this with the detuning a little bit less, sound, and it evokes some feelings that the tenor doesn't, and the concert a little bit more. This is the sound we have in our minds when we think of the ukulele. But I think that every size has pros and cons, and the concert is the size that I wouldn't change the tuning. The tenor I usually tune one note lower with specific strings, with baritone strings, and this also has two, I think, two souls, the D tuning and that means one tone higher. It's from these strings you call, and the C tuning. One thing that unless the instrument is very expensive, this is mid-price, it's a all solid Highlander mahogany. I wouldn't have the fretboard coming as far as the soundboard, because we never play here or a soprano, and on most sopranos it's out of tune. This is one of the downsides. The soprano, it's very difficult to build an instrument that is in tune for the same price. Sure, there are sopranos that are in tune, but you should buy a Kamaka or a Camilea, and this Highlander, not even the Highlander is very in tune. So don't put me this on the fret on the soundboard, because it hinders the vibration of the top. Better not to. So some people, oh, that's all the frets. It's bad. No, but you never play here a soprano. We tend not to. Other things, soprano is joined at the 12th fret. It's the only ukulele, as far as I know. Tenors are joined at the 14th fret. Okay? So I'd say, when does it come into its own? Fast-paced fretting, strumming, old jazz, blues, Hawaiian music, pop, modern, not so much. Not so much. Obviously, you can play it. You can play Hawaiian music on a tenor, or you can play old-style jazz on a tenor. But I disregard the baritone because I like the baritone. And I tell you, the instruments that I play the most are concert and baritones. But it's another kettle of fish. Okay? Very mellow sound, but it's not the sound that people think of when they think about the ukulele. So let's say you should spend more money on a soprano than a concert and tenor, just because smaller instruments are more difficult to be built in tune because of the dimensions. Every mistake becomes bigger if the instrument is small. Okay? So I play the soprano when I want to embrace this old sound, this old nostalgic ukulele, lilting ukulele sound. So my take on the soprano is it's on a par with other sizes. I wouldn't say it's better, I wouldn't say it's worse, it's just another thing. It's not my favorite because I don't have a soprano that is perfectly in tune. I have a big voice, so when I sing, unless it's amplified, just can't keep up with my big voice. Otherwise I have to change the way I sing. And I sing, I'm more of a strummer, but obviously I cannot belt out. But if I had to play with other instruments, like a guitar, I'd play the soprano, because it's so different. So sticks out better than even the concert. Now most people play the tenor, as I know it's a new standard. In the past it was the concert, and many times ago, decades ago, it was a soprano. It seems the ukulele is getting bigger and bigger, and they even to GCA tenors with specific baritone specific strings, which is not bad in itself. It's just playing a high pitched guitar, an instrument that with such a long scale, tuned with like a ukulele, a soprano ukulele, you have an instrument extremely bright, which is not the sound of the ukuleles. Ukulele are mellow. Even this tune, one tone higher, is a mellow sound. So that is my opinion about soprano. I know I don't go overboard. Oh, soprano is the best, is the original. No, I know, but it expresses, I'm sorry, it sounds bad, this childlike or childish side of us. Okay, if you want to think about the song that a newborn would listen to, is sound is the soprano ukulele. So I don't want to characterize it too much, but songs like Ancient Sweet or are, I prefer on a soprano. The instrument that to me is the most neutral in the concert, because for the concert you can switch to the tenor and the soprano without such a big difference, like switching from the soprano to the tenor and vice versa. So it's a golden means, I think. But I know that many people underestimate the soprano and see as I said, the underdog in a bad way, or the mutt of the nest. Also, I think that is on a par with other sizes. Okay, then obviously everybody has preferences, but they should be according to real criteria, not according to your psychological view of the instrument. I prefer the concert because that is the sound I prefer. Generally speaking, say you need to have just one instrument, I would stay with the concert. But actually, I have a lot of tenors. There was a period that I would play tenor. But my first ukulele ever, when I decided to, for some reason, to start 9 years ago, it was a concert, not a soprano, but a concert. So I like concert ukuleles. To me, it's the best of both worlds, but personal preference. But generally speaking, I wouldn't say it's better. It's better for me and for beginners also, when they don't know what size to start with. I say go with a concert. This is finger space, there's quite volume, the sound is still the sound people expect from a ukulele, you know. But generally speaking, if you have clear ideas, you know what you want, go for what you want. If you want, you like Shimabukuro, you like Sarah Maisel, Sarah Joe now, or Rodrigo Guerrero, what? Go for the tone, for the tenor. If you like pop music, you like playing, go for that. That's the best. But if you like old-time jazz or blues, go for the concert, the soprano. Okay? If you like the tone of the soprano, if you choose the soprano, you don't choose it because it's easy to play, because no. Soprano is just the tone. If you like that tone, there are also things in the middle like super sopranos. There are sopranos with a, I would like to have one with a long neck, like concert. Some people say no, it's not a soprano, it's a concert with a small body. Okay, it's a point of view. Also that could be a good option, but I don't have it, so I don't have it. I'd like to have it, one. But to make a long story short, soprano is specific. You choose it not because it's easier to play. I don't think it's easier to play. I conversely, I find it quite difficult to play. For a, I'm not long. I'm 167. It's not an instrument that, I'm not tall, but my hands are not small, so this is a good instrument for that kind of stuff, because this all islanders have a wide nut. I have the APC, the Portuguese have a very narrow nut. So here you have it, and I express my opinion on the soprano ukulele. And to make a long story short, it's one of the three options, neither better nor worse, just another thing. And as I said before, I can understand that some people prefer the soprano, like some people prefer strawberry ice cream, some other people prefer vanilla or chocolate or whatever, but there's no real reason why one of the three sizes is objectively better than any other of the other two. I say this as the three main sizes. I consider the baritone another thing is my favorite size with the concert. Okay, but for other reasons. But it's not, I would never, if they say, could you play the ukulele in our band? I would never, I could play the soprano or the concert. Because this is the sound that people expect from the ukulele. People who are not into ukulele, people who are not into ukulele sound, don't like tenors. It's too far from the sound they have in their mind. Tenors is for people who really like the ukulele and they are into the ukulele word and thing. But for laymen, it's not the sound we expect from a ukulele. Generally speaking, you can like it, but it's a sound that is more guitar-like. It's not a guitar, obviously, it's still a ukulele, but it has some, on a scale, some of the brightness of tone of the guitar. Goodbye.